Okay, where are we? No, this is not the lesson we're on. My phone, I am not a body, I am free, is open. Well, it's not, but it is a very good lesson. It's the same as today. This is what it means. In fearlessness and love I spend today. That means I'm not a body. So we're all ready. We can go into this one.
This day, my Father, what I spend with you, as you have chosen all my days should be. And what I will experience is not of time at all. The joy that comes to me is not of days nor hours, for it comes from heaven to your Son. This day will be your sweet reminder to remember you, your gracious calling to your Holy Son, the sign your grace has come to me, and that it is your will I be set free today.
We spend this day together, you and I, and all the world joins with us in our song of thankfulness and joy to Him who gave salvation to us and who set us free. We are restored to peace and holiness. There is no room in us for fear today, for we have welcomed love into our hearts. That feels really good. There is no room in us for fear today, for we have welcomed love into our hearts. In fearlessness and love, we spend today. We'll try today, and then it's going to feel so good. You're going to want to spend tomorrow that way too. It's my bet. Oh, we can take a deep breath and go within. And let whatever was there earlier fall away. Just allow yourself to just be here. In this moment. If you feel tension anywhere, just invite it to relax. We open up to remember God. To feel God's grace. The source of all life. This ever-present love. I want to invite you to feel your own innocence. You have always done your best. You've always taken the next step. We can give over cares and concerns to Spirit. Can give over the past. Just allow this shining present moment. This fearlessness. This sweet, powerful love. If you're ready, you can come back to our Zoom room. And maybe you feel a bit different. Maybe you feel the vastness of the mind, the peace, the stillness, a bit more. I do. In fearlessness and love, I spend today. And experience no fear. And no concern. And still, if any one of you would like to release something to Spirit, put something on the altar, we are here for that. Feel to read again from the end of the laws of chaos. How can you know whether you choose the stairs to heaven or the way to hell? Quite easily. How do you feel? How can you know whether you chose the stairs to heaven or the way to hell? Quite easily. How do you feel? Is peace in your awareness? Are you certain which way to go? Are you sure the goal of heaven can be reached? If not, you walk alone. Ask then your friend with capital F. Ask then your friend to join with you and give you certainty of where you go. If this lesson needs some extra, if you find yourself not being in fearlessness and love, you can just take this one in. Your friend. There is a friend that is constantly available. A great and awesome friend. Yeah, we are invited into a relationship with this friend, with spirit. And Laurie.
Morning. I feel like I need help. I need help, and just what you're saying right now. Last night we got back. I feel like I just need to speak about what happened last night. We got back and there's fiesta going on in the village. And Gareth, on the walk up to the house, Gareth had said, should we go and have a little look around? So I thought, well, this is an instant opportunity to practice, like, what do I do? How do I respond? And it turned into half an hour just befuzzled. Like, the only question I had in my heart was like, what is it for? But there's that much other interference, shut-in and all stuff going on that I don't even know how I feel. I really don't know whether I'm to go or not to go. And Gareth's saying things like, just trust me and come. And I get even more confused. And then it took so in the end, I just sat up quietly and I said what was on my heart, which was, I'm feeling for you to go. You go and have a little look around. And then I'm just going to trust that you're going to feel into it and then send me a message like, come up and join me, or you'll come back, or I'm just going to put it out there. So that's what he did. And as soon as he left the house, it came to me like, oh, that's what it's for. It's not about going to the fiesta or not going to the fiesta. This conversation is going to bring stuff up. And then it's just to join on that stuff. But then the fear comes in like, oh, we're not going to be able to do that effectively. Anyway, then when Gareth got back, he was literally out minutes, and he got back and we started expressing. And then I'd almost predicted it to not go. I don't even want to say it didn't go well, because we're here together this morning. But there's some frustration around how those expression sessions go, and we're not able to join sometimes. That it feels to me like I can see the things that are going on under the surface, and I try and express what I think those things are. And then there's defense, and then I recognize I'm not saying it in a way that is facilitating the joining. And there's also this feeling like I'm just talking. It's back again, this feeling. and then I feel furious with myself. I don't want to just be like, it's like I go into some sort of fix-it role. And I talk and talk and talk, and I'm getting nowhere. Yeah, it makes me feel sad, because even right now, I know I don't want to be doing that. I do want to be quiet, and I want to take it back enough that I can express.
Mm. Yeah, and it's awareness you have is key. You're seeing the pattern, and you're really onto it. You have such a desire to be truthful to the present moment, to exactly how you feel, and trust. You're very keen on being truthful, being honest with exactly what's going on.
Yeah, just want to be authentic in every moment.
And perhaps there is a message. If you ask yourself, why do I talk so much right now? What's going on underneath? Or what do I really want to say?
Mm. Mm. Believing that I don't know. And it's the same sort of feeling with answering the question, do we go to the fiesta or not? I'm actually believing that I don't know the answer to that, or I don't know how I feel, but I don't think that's true.
Yeah, so the part of you that knows, what would it say?
Now I feel like, yeah, I was right not to go, but last night I couldn't access that. Oh, that's what I'm telling myself, that when all the shoulds come in, you know, trying to keep everyone happy, I can't access.
Mm-hmm. But you're more and more accessing that. You're more and more seeing that people pleaser. They want to try to keep everyone happy, taking responsibility for others.
Yeah.
And maybe it didn't matter. Sometimes, you know, Jesus says, if your brother asks you to do something that doesn't really matter, do it. If it doesn't hurt him or you. Sometimes it doesn't matter, you know.
Mm.
It's a practice to see what is it for. Ask that question, and ask also yourself, if you say yes, what was the motivation? And you're already starting to practice that. You can feel it.
Yeah, because last night it felt like it did matter. It felt like my saying no would bring up a whole load of stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, it's kind of me saying, like, bring it on. I'd rather be at home joining on this stuff that's coming up than thinking, oh, do I want to go to a fiesta or not?
Yeah, I like that. Taking the bull by the horn.
Then Gareth accuses me of trying to control the healing.
I dreamt about both of you this night. I dreamt of you this night. You were in my dream. You were gonna go to the airport, Lori, and you were procrastinating. And I thought, she doesn't really want to go. She wants to be here. And then suddenly you had shapeshifted into Gareth. And Gareth started driving. But then suddenly he was back. He said, there is some problem with the car. I can't go. And I thought, he really doesn't want to go. So let's talk about it.
That feels like it sums up our whole life.
My early morning experience. I'm with you.
With another 6 a.m. flight too, in her dream.
It was 6 p.m.
Oh, 6 p.m.
And it was 5:30, but somehow that in my dream you had an hour and a half. Logically, it was just half an hour. Then it takes half an hour to get to the airport. I said this.
That's probably what was going on last night as well. Like what needed to be said and expressed could have been done in half an hour, but it took an hour and a half.
Are you doing that? You guys are doing it.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you. But it was probably 6 a.m. that I dreamt it, actually. Yeah. Anybody else?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I have this, I'm not going to go too much into it. It's just the awareness is coming to me now that I have this massive belief that I cannot join with others. And it feels like, there is God and I can connect with God, but I can't come back to the world and stay in that divine love or stay in that connection. It's like I'm still seeing both worlds, but the world I see still seems real and I cannot connect with people. And the awareness was coming to me, other people are me, is so ridiculous. Because everything that people say or share, it just resonates so deeply. So it's been coming to me slowly that others are me, and sometimes I see my oneness completely. I saw my oneness with Matthew, but I see it with a lot of people now, even with my nephew yesterday. But yeah, I just want to put that on the altar, open that up, because once I believe something from the ego, I believe everything all at once. This is what is being confusing me, and unwinding is so slow and like really moving through treacle. But it's because I'm accepting the premise really of the ego of separation and accepting the perceptions and the abuse and all of that. And
yeah, so knowing that is so helpful, because then you can say, I don't want to accept the premise of the ego. I'm going to be open to real joining, and that's the way to go. You're aware,
Yeah. And there is a big piece also within the big ego perceptual problem. There's this piece of a part of me that is still unacceptable to me, like believing in the trauma, and the trauma changed me to this thing that is totally unacceptable. And so when you said to Laurie, if you don't want to talk, what do you really want to say? It was like, I need to accept that part, exile part, and say, I love you and come back. So, when I get caught in the world and it's trauma, that piece is still there. And it's like a part of me, the crying out for help, is not being received by me. So it's like, it's healing level confusion and healing something in the world. But there we are. It's a tough journey, but we're getting there. Getting to the divine, seeing divine love was really profound this morning. Thank you.
It was pretty funny, Muna, when you started, because I was going to say something to you, and you, and your comment was, I don't know how to join with other people, but you were not even interested in hearing what I was going to say. And that's the joining is listening.
Yeah.
It's like, it's listening, not just to people, it's actually listening deeper. But that attitude of, I want to hear, I want to join, I want to be with, I want to be with. That's the joining. And I thought I was going to share, there was such a beautiful picture with you and that baby.
Yeah.
I think it was your nephew's baby. And I just saw pure joining in that. It was you and her. There was this purity, precious, beautiful joining.
Yeah. Orchestrated by Holy Spirit, and it brought so much healing, so much awareness into how the ego's perception, my perception of myself changed so completely through the trauma that, wow, like I am like that, not like the ego says I am within my mind, which is totally devastated and something no one can see and something unpresentable. So the picture was so healing, and it's still healing. I haven't finished that. But the mind has gone to such a deep, dark place. And Holy Spirit is using pictures now, even using the world. Just bring me back that even in the world, I am not devastated right now. I am presentable. That was amazing. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Actually, I don't want to share, but I try. This morning, when I went into the kitchen, a lot of fear came up. And it's about all my opinions and beliefs and how things has to be done in this house practically. So and the fear is joining about it. Yeah, I keep my beliefs about how to do it in the right way. I keep them for myself. I hide, and then all this fear is coming up about let go of them, or just joining about my beliefs. So before this meeting, I went out in the garden and had a view over the olive field, and 2 cats came playing joyfully up and down the olive trees. And wow, that was really a waking up. That's what I want. I want to have fun. I want to have joy. I want to collaborate. That's what I want. I don't want to keep all my beliefs and about what is right. So
Beautiful.
That's what it looks like right now.
Yeah. And there is such an ease when you start to practice handing over what you want. The spirit, if it is helpfulness in it, you can speak it from that place of spirit. But maybe sometimes there is control mixed in or doubt. And it can also be at times you have been holding back. You want to share what you, is it still with you? What the specific thing that you had come to mind when you entered the kitchen, or is it, did you release it already?
It's still in my mind. It's about this joining and speaking up. I think that's so fearful. It's so fearful. Yeah.
You want to try and do it now? Because if there are no private thoughts, it's already felt.
There's no thoughts coming. It's just a feeling. Yeah.
So there wasn't something specific when you entered the kitchen, you had that feeling come up? Or it was unspecific?
No, I just hand over this fear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Being fearlessness and love, like those two cats.
Yeah, that was really, that's what I want.
Flor shared the other day that I wanted to play with Karin, and I took her cap, or I said, "This is not your cap," or something. And Karin didn't appreciate it. Right, Flor? Yeah, sometimes we can have different ideas about play and lightness, and or perhaps you were in something else at that time.
I was.
I do tend to have a real serious face as well. So if Anna said that it didn't look like a joke because I had a real intense, serious face. So I can see the other side as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think Karen.
Oh God, that old story again. Yeah. Okay.
And it's sweet. It's so many. It's innocent moments and possibilities to release personal perspective. That's all it is. Each situation. But it does seem like you have a lesson in speaking about these specifics, Karin, that you have you're terrified to share and speak about it. But now when you and Anna overseeing the kitchen together, you can bounce things with her. And then you can together call for a meeting and speak clearly about you know, what you have agreed, what feels right and helpful.
Yeah, we're already doing that, but even then fear comes up. So yeah. Yeah, we can join.
What a perfect opportunity, perfect area to work with this.
Mm.
And just to know that it's always the fear of separation underneath. It's never the fear of the thing that, you know, that the mind makes it into. It's not really about that. I get the line from one of the lessons. Jesus says to ask yourself, is it possible that I have been wrong about a conclusion? Maybe when you start to practice to speak about those things, people will be really grateful and happy that you are. You know. To arrange this.
Good morning.
What's on your heart?
My heart. Oh, to me came the thought. I like to work in the kitchen. I like to join in the kitchen. Isn't it a beautiful place to join, to be playful and not to be so interested in the outcome. So to be interested, to be at peace and in this playfulness, and not to speak so much about other things. So I think it's I like this presence or the possibility to be in a presence with each other. Yeah, and I thought about it. Oh yes, it's a good thing. This kitchen work, to cook, to experiment, and to do something that's joyful, joining, and without the cooking. And it's even or although it's a big body thing, because the body is highly involved in cooking, but it's okay. Then there is guilt. Okay, yeah. So, and I feel then speaking about it, and there's deeper. I thought I still take it so seriously, as if it's not allowed to be in this joy, and to take it seriously. It's a sadness. I
So something coming up.
yeah, it's yeah, it's a kind of sadness or energy. To yeah, it wasn't my this feeling came right now, and it was a deeper sadness to take things so seriously and on my own, and so personal, so individual. Make it so complicated and maybe wrong to do something, and because this maybe it's about my level confusion, to be a body and to be not a body. So, and
but it feels beautiful somehow that you're seeing this, the sadness that came up, this pressure that you have to be serious when you first are so happy and playful about the idea of collaborating, which that's the spirit. Spirit is collaboration. Spirit isn't seriousness, to do it right. I'm not sure exactly what your belief is, but you know, that lightness, the happiness of collaborating, that's the spirit.
yes. Yes, and I felt like a journeying, a longing, and maybe to allow myself that I don't know. Yes. Today I will maybe I don't know, but it's a theme I have in my head, is that today I will meet and hopefully join with my daughter and my wife, my ex-wife, and because I suggested to my daughter to change our cars. Our cars. Yeah, we will swap our cars today, and it felt joyful and to experiment and to because I will take her car to a garage and to have an examination and maintaining for it, and yeah, and even that I felt guilt about it, or it's wrong to do it, because maybe it's people pleasing, or it is on the form level. And
I think I get a picture of what's going on. It's a spiritual believing that spirit is harsh or that God is harsh, almost like a dominating father figure. Because it sounds like this is so inspired. You want to meet with your daughter and her mother and swap cars and help her with her repair to get it to the workshop, you know. Anything coming from inspiration, you know, we can go with it. We can trust it.
Mm.
It's about the extending. It's about the love underneath it. People pleasing is heavy. People pleasing is boring. People pleasing has a should in it.
Mm. Mm. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is not a should. Okay. Yes. This is simply to, maybe it's an opportunity to give and to be and to shine. Yeah, that's my prayer, that and as you said, this an invisible father figure who, or that judges always my deeds, my ideas, even my ideas about what would be joyful, or even yeah. Okay. Yeah. So no, it doesn't feel like it should. It feels to be open and to give joy, and to swap cars. It's a good idea to let my car go. Give it to my daughter, and yeah. I like to do it. It's a good sign. It's not somehow. It's not, but my car. It's yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sharing. Yeah.
It's about sharing. Yeah, car sharing. In modern ways, car sharing. Yeah, not to. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. It's tricky. You know, we projected God to be sometimes the way our father was, the way our biological father was, or parents. Sometimes we projected God to be a bit like that.
Yeah.
God is
To project a God.
yeah. To project a very serious God.
Yeah.
It's like says that's wrong, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel I feel I have this a very internal, serious part in me about this world, about this dream, about the figures, the seriousness related, and this serious is always related to me somehow. So causing or responsibility, and then I'm not so open. I'm not in this joyful love.
Yeah. So I think in community it will be very helpful for you.
Yeah.
You know, because it will be so much interaction. and joining and collaboration. And I think it will just help to wash this really quick.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I love it, and to collaborate and to be with you all, and yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe you'll have extra time in the kitchen.
Yeah. could imagine that there's an opportunity.
Yeah. All ready for the retreat. It's getting starting to get.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We will see us soon.
Yeah, soon. In a few days. Yeah. Did you have something, Francois, or was it just a wave?
Yeah, it's just it's still the. I mean, I've been praying to go deeper with the unconscious guilt, and obviously the symptoms of the ear pain and throat and all, it's very dominant. Yeah, but I've been going deeper, and I mean, the once I prayed, and the message I got is this sickness is the belief that you're separate from God. This pain. So, but sometimes I'm letting the pain be. I'm not using any pain medication. But that's when some nights are just, it's like, a couple nights back, I just had to cry because it was just too intense. It was like, and in my prayers, just to go deeper. It's just not about the physical symptoms.
No, it's not, but it's about what originated them. Where do they originate? You mentioned unconscious guilt, but I think maybe it's not that unconscious, it's felt, feel it. So
Yes, that's the thing. I've been, gosh, that's also something that's been coming up, just guilt of when I have a ego thought of just, and then lying in bed, it's like waves of guilt that I just sometimes have to grab the bed or grab my legs or something and just let it. That's what I'm allowing it, Yeah, it's not unconscious, it's very conscious, actually. Yes.
Yeah. And so is the pain. And you probably have a lot of thoughts when you have pain, and you can trace the pain back to some fear or experiences. Because have you heard the word psychosomatic? It's mental. It's something in the mind, in the psyche, that is screaming, calling out for support. There is, because pain isn't. It's not really physical. It's not really about the body. It's about the mind. And we've talked a lot about your past traumas, and they, they are probably the things you can allow the pain, the mental pain. If you have physical pain, you can say, what is my mental pain?
Yes. What? Yes. That's very true. That's exactly this is my prayer of what's the prayer? That's the prayer that you just gave.
You can journal.
What's my meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I do see when I'm joining. I'm recently when I had Tribe app, and when we didn't have sessions, I started posting up there on there, and it's immediately it's the joining part, and then afterwards I had the feelings of guilt, that extreme experience, and then the physical pain, and it washed away for a couple of hours. I had some peace, but it was in the joining. It was in the joining.
Yeah. Joining is will continue to be so helpful for you.
Yes. And expressing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's almost like pain in the body. It's like almost like the third step. It starts with the mind, maybe feeling limited, believing in something that is false, but there is a belief in it. And then the second step is the guilt, because there is guilt always involved when we have a belief. There is guilt, and the guilt gets projected to the body, and then there is the pain. So yeah, I think the allowance to join, it feels really helpful for you.
Yes. That's the key.
Yeah, and to expand out of fears, We talked about trying to get a job or getting some, a job or something, and you said, but I have so much social fear, But to start to take those steps to face that, because I don't believe in it. I think you're going to easily cut through that social fear. Like when you were with us, maybe first you had some social fear, I don't know, but you were so relaxed and joining, it was, you felt like you loved the joining with others.
I do, and I miss that part of saying in this moment, this is not that I always expressed it, but when I expressed it and looking back now, I can see how magnificent it is of just saying, I'm feeling this now, or this thought is on my mind, and saying it out loud. Yeah, the job part is it's still something I can't seem. I've given my resume, CV, and nothing, and I think that's also maybe I can put on the altar now. That's something, the fear that's coming up for me is if I don't get a job eventually, I have this desire to live my life, whole life in community. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I mean, obviously in the meantime, yes, it's the doubt of if I am ever going to be in community again, and if I don't get a job, what's going to happen to me? And then I see the ego thoughts of suicide, which I have immediately. I immediately, when I see it, I have to. I place it on the altar. I pray immediately. But it's also just beliefs, I won't be taken care of.
Yeah, and it's something that wouldn't solve anything at all.
Yes. Immediately when I the third or second time I had that suicide fault. The ego, it was a fault, wasn't my fault, but I could see it, and then immediately the spirit saying, "You leave this world." It was a quote from the Course. This world is not left by death, but by truth.
Yeah, that's it. Because
Yeah, yeah. It's just, I think it's the ego wanting me to stay stuck in the guilt of suicide, because then if the thoughts also, I shouldn't be having these thoughts, and this is terrible. There's going to be some manifestation of this thought, you know. That, you know, it's going to be, there's going to be cause and effect, and I'm going to suffer the consequences.
Yeah, no, it's to take your steps, you know, towards the truth and the healing, step by step, moment by moment. And trust your prompts, your nudges, test, try things out, you know. Yeah, because this world is not left by death. It's true, because it is maintained by death.
Yeah,
By
yeah,
suicide, it would just be to maintain the world. It would, because the belief in death, the belief in escape from something that you believe is difficult, you know, then that difficult thing is still in the mind. So it's to walk towards it, to face it, because when we do, it's going to dissolve. It's not as fearful as we thought.
yeah. That's all. Yeah, Jenny. That's keeping, when I keep on handing it over, and handing it over. That's when the guidance like this is coming. The guidance, it feels like it's getting stronger and stronger. I'm getting the prompts, the inspiration. It's getting, I get images. Sometimes the spirit is images of quotes in the Course very strongly. Yeah. So I think it's just healing that's taking place.
Yeah.
And not, yes, and not being vigilant. Last time you shared about being vigilant for God. That's what I'm being vigilant for, truth, and standing in truth. I'm not in this world. I'm not this body. I'm not limited, you know. And there's a whole complete divine system supporting me. I mean, just on the physical level, you, everybody. I mean, I just want to share this as a joyful share, because there's also some beautiful moments in between this pain. Like Andrea is sending me tomorrow. She's sending me the Gifts of God, the poems by Helen Schumann. She just said to me, "Friday, I'm sending you poems, that book of poetry." I thought, "Oh, that's so beautiful."
Yeah.
She said, "I'm just want to give you as a gift." So it's just been, a lot of reflections, beautiful reflections between this.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Francois. Yeah. It's just to know that it is fear. When there is physical pain, there is some fear underneath. So just to gently approach it, and to take yourself by the hand, like you say, touch your legs or your bed, to feel safe, to feel I'm here, you know, those things, it helps.
Yeah, your voice comes in sometimes. Be gentle with yourself. I love that. Like I don't use pain medication, but I use eardrops, you know, and that was like my gentle. Or sometimes I can just go lay down, and then there's Jenny's voice, and there's no guilt. Hear your voice sometimes. Being gentle.
And your big hug.
Thank you. I also want to share just also, I never, I wanted to do a Facebook post after about my gratitude for what everything that you have done for me and after I came back. But I never expressed because I was just in such a turmoil back then. And that's also just, that's the guilt because I felt like I said, thank you. I wanted to do a beautiful post, but I never got to it.
I feel your gratitude.
I hope, yes, by this, my sharing this post, Awaken to Love, that's my.
Yeah, they're so sweet, so beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our retreat is called Never Apart. Never apart. That's the truth. That's a fact. We're never apart. Peter.
Hi, good morning, Jenny. Good morning, everybody. A lot has come up this morning, and like a confluence of all sorts of things. And right now I'm feeling fearful, but I feel really grateful. I feel like I'm home. Yeah. Just the motorbike going by. Really,
didn't hear it.
really loud. Yeah, it's ferocious. Just so grateful for everybody. Authenticness and truth telling, and how that I feel safer, feel more joined, and yeah, feel really grateful. And just what Francois was saying with you, the gratitude I feel holding that all this space, the guidance that comes. Yeah, it's very humbling and actually kind of still vulnerable making to express that. And this morning I meditated on my resistance to going to this property that seems like the obvious place to go now. And it kicked off a lot of other images in my mind, mostly related to back home in Britain, back home. And this week I'm due to the morning of the retreat pick up my residency card. And there's this things related to all sorts of things like lack and abandonment and to do with my health, the dentist, and trusting going to a dentist here when I had so much trouble. Took me years to develop a relationship with a dentist where we both could trust each other in England. It really, I shared it quite a bit of it with Solveig this morning, and then that created a tension because she wanted to journal, and I felt guilty about that, and so we had an angry exchange afterwards, and all this guilt was here, and I was actually grateful to see that, at this, how I could see how I really defended around this guilt, and so it's a lot of, and I thought, okay, there is a way through this. So I was just in the meditation here, and I was just looking at that. She was loving looking at that, and there's okay, because there's always been something else underneath, and this place of holding on and holding back, and you mentioned the spacious, I don't remember the word, expansiveness or spaciousness. And the thing that I feel about this home is that I walk in from the street and then I'm in the house. And the place I liked when we came for lunch that morning was you step out and there's a big balcony and then there's this open valley, and I just feel so expansive. So, and I know that's of form, and really that's in me. I do know that, but it seemed really important, and so that's why I was meditating on this resistance. There are other things, the cat, the money, so all these different abandonment, lack things are there, but it felt more this easy connection with this profound yeah, this, well, you know what it's like. It's just this great freedom and expansion inside, and that I can see I still have this shame of expressing this. So I imagine it's the guilt still of how I've denied the truth. I feel this expansion and love, and at the same time that comes this what seems to be this shame. I had this in the film last night.
Yeah, it brings it up. The expansion,
yeah,
brings it up. So it's good. You're really healing. You're really taking on the healing.
So it's, some of these places I mentioned still feel like there's a door shut mostly, and every now and then it opens and I see it for a little while, and they're all interconnected. So it seems, and yeah, it just feels like I've got to jump off a cliff or something, and there's this holding back around decision making, and I was just getting quite upset around how this how this guilt affects the intimacy I have with the world, but particularly was feeling it with Solveig this morning. how it leaks, everything leaks out if I don't deal with it somehow.
Mm.
And I'm grateful to expose this, but it feels a little bit of an ordeal too. Yeah. But I know it's the way through. It helps me to expose it. Yeah. And I've been holding on to some of these places forever, you know, especially this connection back with Britain and letting go of that, moving forward and trusting and that this is home physically, but then I know it's not about that. It's about I can trust this as my home inwardly. Yeah. It doesn't matter where I am. So except it doesn't yet quite got to that place yet.
So to start to not call it home, call Britain home. It's no longer home.
Just Britain, yeah.
Yeah. Release and symbolically release whatever ties you have kept to whatever is ready to be released. Whatever you can release, you know. But
yeah.
It will be helpful symbolically.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, just dance.
Is there something for you, Gareth? The feeling.
It was just during the meditation. Yeah, just thoughts coming in. It was probably a bit about the movie last night and what Solvay shared. Yeah, it feels like some fear of coming out of the closet and saying, and just being with God and Jesus, and then in my mind I'm going around my family and my friends, yeah, and I just fear terror, like I'm going to be abandoned and. Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. This is really good stuff to look at, you know. I remember the movie we watched, Violet. It was this movie where you saw her thoughts on the screen written, and the ego's judgments that was so strong and harsh on her. And she had this tie to her brother, I think, or uncle or something, and her mother died. And she was just going to go to the funeral, but she didn't want to. She was going to miss this beautiful party with her new partner, you know. And she decided in the end to not go. And she was very fearful for a moment that she would lose this safety of the family, you know. But it was such bad relationships, and she just spoke to him whatever she needed to say in the end. Just, I don't need you anymore, you know. And yeah, that just comes to mind, that because it's that fear, because family is all we had in the past, you know. And then now you're on the awakening path, and you're releasing specialness, and you're not going to be abandoned. You're going to be found. You're releasing the belief in abandonment, and the special relationships. It feels really, really good that you're looking at this.
Yeah, I can feel the fear now. I can feel the absolute terror in my chest. Like, yeah, and it feels bigger than anything else. It feels bigger than getting the job. I feel that's handleable.
Yeah.
I can make my way through that. This feels like absolute terror.
Yeah, and yet it's, to me, it's like music in my ears. It's so beautiful. Coming out of the closet, becoming true to what the direction you have now. And you can be with this fear, and you can ask inwardly what are the steps? What is the best way of communicating this? And you can journal, you can write letters or messages and then send them or not, but this is how you will work with this.
Yeah, it feels like a fear of stepping into my true identity. Like, I can see how my self-concept's uncovering.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's all it is. And self-concepts are meaningless. They are just thin layers, and they're not what you are. Even false responsibilities for people. We're with you, and Spirit is with you in this process. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. See you soon.